Hi everybody, so here is my gift guide number 2. So this is not the alternative gifts, but this is actually if you want to give a product or like a thing to little ones, or ideas, I suppose, to loved ones who want to gift to your little one. So the first thing that I always suggest is books. You just can't go wrong with books. And there's so many beautiful little books. You don't need to overwhelm them. In the first 12 months, actually repetition is key. So if you have like 3 or 4 books that you constantly go to and you see them every day. So maybe you've got a book that you do at breakfast, you might have a book then that you'll do in the afternoon, and then you might have your bedtime book. So 3 of those, just go back over them. They'll learn from you, they'll listen to your voice, the intonation that you use, they'll look at your facial expression. You'll often notice that as your little one gets older, they'll start to mimic the movements that you do with your mouth, because they're trying to figure out how sound is coming out of your mouth and how they can't get sound out of their mouth. So they'll do all of that. They'll also understand about kind of like happiness and sadness and like everything. So books, just cognitively, you cannot go wrong with books. Keep them fairly kind of, I suppose, muted, not too much text for 0 to 1 years of age. And I love the That's Not My series books. They are just brilliant. And they do lovely ones like That's Not My Unicorn, and That's Not My Tractor, and That's Not My Dinosaur. So they're just gorgeous. You can tell that I had them in my house, all sorts of them. Over the years, we just added to the collection. And then my favorite collection is actually the Guess How Much I Love You books. They are just so beautiful. The stories are gorgeous. The illustrations are gorgeous. You can talk about the pictures. You don't even have to read the stories. You can talk about the pictures. And yeah, just the whole feel of that is just glorious. Like, I love you to the moon and back. So yes, they would be kind of my favorite books. Where does Really Lovely Books? Avoca. They have gorgeous selection of books. Eason's. And where else? Okay, so the next thing that I would recommend for developmental benefits is a ball pit. Or if you don't have space for a ball pit, because some of them can be a little bit large. So if you're lucky enough to have maybe space in your living room or a playroom, or even your bedroom, not your bedroom, baby's bedroom, ball pits are just brilliant. They just give so much proprioceptive input. They really help with vestibular system, and it's just like all of that body mapping. It's amazing for your little ones. If you don't have space, get the balls for a ball pit, because you can buy bags of those, and you can actually put them into a laundry basket. So not the tall laundry baskets, the like oblong ones, and then you can actually just put them into the laundry basket and then sit your little one into there. That's perfect. You don't need a ton of space. And there's always ways that you can do developmental stuff with what you have yourself. So you can ask, I know it might be a very strange gift to ask for, but if you don't have an oblong laundry basket, ask for one of those and a bag of balls for a ball pit. And then I suppose it can double job, so you can use it for laundry as well. Or if you do have space for a really nice ball pit, there's some pop-up ones that you can get. And I know places like Mother Care Mamas and Papas and where else? Argos, I think, have pop-up ball pits. But then you've got other kind of indie stores that do gorgeous ball pits that are kind of like foam and really well held together. They also come in beautiful kind of grays and blushes and like lovely kind of muted tones as well. So ball pits, that would be my second one. Third thing I would suggest is anything that encourages your little one to be upright and to play this way, because that actually really helps the development of the core, the head, the neck, the shoulders. So in preparation, obviously, for crawling, if they're crawling, it'll help still kind of keep that development going in preparation for walking. It's also just generally fantastic for them. So not something where they're seated like an activity center. No. What I'm talking about is basically, you know, the way that you can get like little mini blackboards or magnetic boards, and you can actually, so what I used to do with my two was I actually bought a magnetic board and I kind of rested it on the what's that called, the kicker board along, it's not kicker board, whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called, along the bottom of the walls, and then I screwed it into the wall. So literally then they were able to play with magnetic letters. When they got a little bit older, they were able to sit at it and able to play with markers. And sorry, I thought somebody was coming. No. Somebody's trying to ring the doorbell there. Oh, the joys of it all. And yeah, so the magnetic markers, or not magnetic markers, but whiteboard markers. And yeah, so just in general, it really encourages them to sit upright. It gets a really good kind of like spine position, and really helps their hips, which is super important, particularly for prepping for walking and during the crawling phase. So anything that will encourage upright play like that. So you can get a chalkboard, you can get a magnetic board, and you can, like there are other kind of paint boards and things like that that you can get as well. Some of them might be on like little easels, but you can just take it off the easel and like use it down lower if your little ones are not kind of fully upright. So there's a bit of flexibility there. So have a look around. I'll also have a look around and kind of, if I can find anything that I'm talking about that'll anchor this idea for you, I will put it up here also. The next thing that I'm obsessed with, and anybody who's followed me for a while will know this, is threading. So any kind of games that encourage threading. And in my earlier video about alternative gifts, I was talking about a DIY sensory box. I was talking about pipe cleaners and things like that. Pipe cleaners are great for pre-threading activities. So have a look around, you know, really kind of just have a good old route. There's some fantastic threading games available, and you have the like the big spools and the threads, and so that you can kind of help to encourage them as well to start to do that. The bonus of that is that those spools can then, as they get older, so when they're kind of like between 1.5 and 2, you can actually use those spools for stacking, which is really important as well. They won't be able to do it obviously under one, and they just don't have the coordination. It's not kind of fine-tuned and sleek enough, but definitely as they get older, these are kind of things that'll double up, and that is a really key thing when you're looking for gifting and you're thinking about gifting, because I'm a big advocate for that, not just buying more and more and more stuff. It's actually buy some stuff that can double job. You know, let's not kind of just be a throwaway kind of society, but like what else can we use it for? Is there other stuff that eventually that we can transform it and use it with, or in, or for? So yes, so threading. You can also get blocks and things like that that are really good. Some beautiful wooden kind of games and toys and things, but particularly wooden blocks. Love those. They're much bigger, so it's easier for them to try to stack. So yeah, so that would be another really nice idea as well. Next thing is just fantastic. It is water play. So stuff that you can play with in the bath, or like if you want to sit them down on the kitchen floor, put down an oilcloth, put a little basin, and then use these little kind of, they're like little cups, and they've got little holes in the bottom of them, so little sieves, and they can pour from one to the other, and one has a slow pour, one has a fast pour, all that sort of stuff. So it helps with the measuring, it helps with hand-eye coordination, it just helps with sensory development all over. So water play can't go wrong, and definitely if it's in the bath. Just be careful though, because I've seen some absolutely ridiculous bath toys, which are way too complex and totally like wrong for the ages that they're being pitched at. So keep it simple. just, if there's little stackers that you can use, that you can, pour from one to the other and put it into the bath, then that's fantastic. And I think I have some probably, so I'll show you some of those that I'm talking about. But again, it's very simple, very basic. They're not big presents, but they're like big for development. So that's the key. It isn't the amount of money or the cost or whatever. It is the benefit that you need to be looking at. So that's why water play, boom, bish bash bosh, as they say, go for it. It's just like, give that suggestion. So many people don't value it, but honestly, it's super. And then when it comes to summertime, you can bring the stuff outside too, and have great fun with it. And the beauty of these as well is if you buy the kind of middle of the range ones, so that you're not buying the all singing, all dancing, whizzing lights and buzzing and all that, you don't need that. But if you buy kind of middle of the range, they're really good quality. They'll stand up to a lot of kind of play. Then in the summertime, you'll be able to play with them as well, maybe outside with the sand and the water pit. And then when time comes, then you're not heartbroken when you need to kind of bin them because they're gone a bit like past use, and you just refresh them. So that's something that's really brilliant. Another thing would be, I just have a list here, massage kits. So look for something maybe, or ask maybe for something that has a beautiful, like a Burt's Bees for babies, gorgeous oils, gorgeous lotions, and again, amazing sensory input, lots of body mapping, lots of feedback to the brain, proprioceptive input, just glorious, and also helping the skin. So that's really important. And as I know somebody who is super amazing and just fantastic, she would always say, never buy something that you or your baby wouldn't eat. So when you're choosing kind of natural oils and things like that for massaging, just make sure that there's not any yucky kind of chemicals in them, because it will irritate their skin. And also if there's any heavy metals in it and stuff, their livers really are not up to processing all of that. So you're putting kind of a strain. So that's why you really need to be careful about what types of oils and things that you are choosing, but just, be informed, have a look at the ingredients. But it is a really nice, it's a really nice kind of gift too for baby, and very developmental. The next thing then I was thinking about was, what else product-y could I suggest? And there are some gloriously just beautiful little products that that you can buy, like nightlight kind of things, that will like sparkle in the ceiling. So they give a very low light, but kind of a bit of visual I suppose interest, but not so much that actually that your little one won't be able to sleep. So they might kind of like I don't know, shine stars on the ceiling or something like that, but the light then that comes off it is very low level and it doesn't interrupt sleep. So something like that as well is really, really nice. I love the brand Cloud Bee, pardon me. They do really lovely ones. Just I'm never too keen on ones that give that white noise, because I often find that little ones then can become dependent on that. So I'm all for if you can help foster and encourage them to become able to self-regulate rather than depending on something. That's really important, but definitely something like that with the low level light that they can actually play with as well. That's gorgeous. Can't go wrong. Really cute. What else? Oh my God, musical instruments. Like, hello, Mothercare do an amazing set of my first musical instruments. Like, do I need to say any more? Just brilliant. And music wires the brain in a way that nothing else can do. So definitely. And they're all very easy to hold. There might be 5 or 6 different types of instruments. You don't have to give them all out at the same time. Very gradually introduce, kind of take one out and just play with that. And then put it away, and then maybe another day take a different one out. But they're really, really brilliant. So definitely have a look at something like that. Maybe also get some paracetamol for you for the headache. But it's totally worth it. And what else do I have? Oh, yeah, like and you probably have these already, but if you don't, this is something that's nice to ask for, is a play gym. So something that's on the floor that you can play with, not one that has this massive big like a cushion around it so that your little one is propped up. If your little one isn't able to self-sit, then they shouldn't be supported when they're sitting because their body isn't ready for that. So I never like to see those ones, the supported sitting ones. Anything where they're lying flat on the floor and they're playing with, you know, the ones with the arches that go across it, or they've got some then that are, I think that it's almost like that there's two X's on the end, and then they've got stuff that comes across the middle there so they can play with. So anything like that is beautiful as well. And you know, not too much electronics. Pare back on that. That's what I always say. The other thing then, kind of almost in the same vein as threading, but it's the shape sorters. I love those, absolutely love those. And they are just so good for hand-eye coordination, for colors, for vocab, for just, you know, kind of social emotional play, all of that sort of stuff. So shape sorters, again, don't go for the mega fancy ones. Just, you know, like I remember we had one, it was a little red bus shape, but you know, kind of it had 8 different shapes on the top of it, and like it was just hours of fun. So something very simple but really brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because the more that they play with those, and obviously like at the start they're going to be, you know, finding it challenging and not really understanding, but as they get used to it, then you're going to be able to bring in more conversation about the shapes and about the colors and about the number of sides, and, you know, kind of like, oh, does this fit in here, and why doesn't this fit in here, and which one do we think it will fit in? So there's all that sort of stuff, just glorious, like tons of fun. And then this is my last one, and I'm going to leave you because this has gone on so long. I'm so sorry. But like my first jigsaws. So, you know, those where it's literally, it's just like maybe a scene in a farm or something, or very plain, and like, you know, like just a wooden block, and with maybe like 6 different like images. So a car, a bus, an aeroplane, a bicycle, a person walking, and a house, something like that, where they're all very different shapes as well, and they've got like a little kind of red, like knobbly buttony thing on it, so where they can actually pinch it, which is really good, obviously, for the pincer grip. And you know, they kind of then they'll go through them all, and eventually it'll fit into one, and they'll get like great kick out of the fact that they were able to fit that in. I don't actually know what the full term is, but I always kind of call them like my first jigsaw. It's kind of like shape sorting in a way, so, but it's just absolutely brilliant as well. So I hope I've given you some food for thought on those like gifty things. And again, please just remember, it's not about the amount of money that is spent. It is about the thought that's gone into it and the developmental benefits that your child will get out of each of them. And like, you could probably buy all of the things that I've listed there for the price of an activity set or a walker, or you know, those kind of things, but way more beneficial. So I hope that helps. And if you do find that that has helped, please tag somebody that you want to share this with, or that you think should see this, or that you think might like some inspiration as well. So don't forget, these aren't just for Christmas gifting. These can be for your first birthday, christening, whatever. So if you're just looking for some really good developmental gifts. And don't forget, obviously, you could give a CogniKids weaning set too. So any of the CogniKids gifts would be brilliant, or products would be brilliant gifts. So zip, dip, grip, crawl and soothe. Check us out, cognikids.com. Thanks very much, folks. Bye.